What's on the other side of that door? During the spring semester of my third year of architecture school, I was exploring opportunities to study abroad for the following semester. I wanted to study abroad since I started college, so this meant a lot to finally have the chance to do it. After researching a few destinations and programs, I couldn't stop thinking about the possibility of studying in Costa Rica, my home country. My family's from there, and we immigrated to the United States when I was just 4 years old. The idea of returning to my home country instead of going to Europe with the rest of my classmates was exciting and nerve-wracking for a lot of reasons, but it meant reconnecting with my roots, confronting aspects of my identity head-on, and pushing myself out of my comfort zone in a foreign, familiar place. This was the opportunity to go on a soul-searching journey for purpose and connection and meaning during a time in my life where I didn't really know where I wanted to go or what I wanted to do. I didn't know what was behind that door, but I decided to open it, and I couldn't prepare myself enough for everything that was waiting for me on the other side.
In front of you, thanks so much for joining us this morning, and welcome aboard.
My mother and my sister joined me at the beginning at my favorite place to be, by the ocean. There's something about the beach that makes me feel so at home. I've loved the water since I was a baby, and so it doesn't matter how far away I am or how long it's been, coming back to the water means coming home. For me, it's life-giving. It's in my blood. The way it reflects the sky and the moon and the waves is mesmerizing. All my thoughts and worries float away, floating in the middle of the world. I learn something new about myself every time I visit, a reflection that reflects more than what's on the surface. It's kind of liberating in a way, just free to be. My semester at the University of Costa Rica started 2 weeks later. I was excited and anxious and nervous and all of the unknowns about who I would meet and what it would be like and how my professors would be and where I'd go for lunch started to flood my brain. I really liked the campus. It was really beautiful. Being in the middle of the city with so much green all around was so refreshing. It was surreal to walk the same corridors my parents studied in, which technically makes me a legacy student now. I took 3 classes, architecture theory, urban theory, and a design studio, where we designed and proposed a building over the course of the semester. What really brought me the most anxiety at the start was my Spanish skills. I'd spent the summer practicing and brushing up on my skills to prepare, but studying and real-world interactions are completely different. My more quiet personality and self-consciousness didn't help much either, so I didn't really interact with a lot of people at the start. It was kind of rough. Despite all the anxiety, I put one foot in front of the other to get used to my old new home. As the semester went on, I slowly got used to the new rhythm that my life was moving at. I also experienced more of my Costa Rican culture in new ways. I got to be there to watch the Independence Day parades in person for the first time, and the Carnavales festivities in Limón, the town where my family comes from. Visiting my grandmother in Limón meant everything to me. I got to spend a couple weekends with her during the semester. We talked a lot, and she told me stories about our family, where we come from, her childhood and young adult life. We sat together at the park that overlooks the sea, as she brought up stories about when I was little, even things that I didn't remember. It meant everything to me to be able to spend those moments with her, to learn more about my own history, and everything that led to me being able to go back to visit all these years later. I had so many doubts about my sense of belonging since the start of the trip. I was afraid of not being Costa Rican enough or too American, and that I would be an outsider in my own land. I was afraid that I'd fully never belong anywhere. Every single day forced me to confront these fears. It felt overwhelming some moments more than others, but those conversations with my grandmother definitely helped in the process of learning to understand and accept my cultural heritage and background. There were always these little signals from God that reassured me that I was in the right place at exactly the right time. The biggest and most defining signal came in the middle of October. An annular solar eclipse passes exactly at the halfway point of my trip. The sun, the moon, the earth, and me. It doesn't get more aligned than that. That eclipse truly marked a shift for me internally. More rain came as the weeks passed, and with the rain came some time to slow down and ask myself how I wanted to make the most of the time that I had left in Costa Rica. I joined a Latin dance class on Thursday nights, which is the perfect blend of exploring beyond my comfort zone, staying active, reconnecting with my culture, and meeting new people. That was really fun, and I'm so glad that I joined. I made huge strides in my coursework to develop my projects and strengthen my ideas. I read and researched more, letting my interest and curiosity uncover new possibilities. My Spanish improved faster after I finally let myself make mistakes and be seen by other people. I think those leaps in my personal growth came after I decided to let go. Let go of my desire to achieve the illusion of perfection. Let go of the need to belong and fit in. Once I did, I felt even more free to accept my experiences as they were and to be fully present wherever I was. The end of the semester quickly came around, and by the time it was over, I realized that I had improved my Spanish so much, made new local and international friendships, created so many cherished memories, and became more confident and more at peace in the process. It was so cool to see so much growth in just a few months. I wrapped the semester and I started what I like to call my goodbye tour. I stopped by to visit more relatives and family friends, and eventually made my way back to my grandmother's house to spend Christmas with her. I got to bake with her, eat amazing food, and continue making beautiful memories. Those slow early mornings in the kitchen were incredibly fulfilling. I did my best to soak in every second that passed by. We ended the trip in the best way possible, in the exact same way that it began 5 months before, by the ocean. I looked out at the water and I saw my entire homecoming journey, all the growth, the new friendships, and the priceless moments. It was pure poetry to think that several months before I had no idea what would happen, all to end up in the exact same place, being completely changed. It had all connected better than I could have ever imagined. I was finally free to be. I flew back home a few days later. My semester abroad was the most meaningful and transformative trip in my life so far. It was full circle in every aspect. I couldn't have asked for a more fulfilling experience. In such a disorienting and confusing time in my life, I had the opportunity to look back and go back in order to better see and understand how to move forward. The timing could not have been more perfect. Every single thing worked out beautifully. I'm so grateful to even be able to go back to my home country, let alone spend 5 months there, all while staying on track for graduation. And beyond that, getting to reconnect with my culture, family, history, and personal story is beyond priceless.
Still, I keep thinking about 4 or 5 years from now, how all this will pan out. But deep down, I got a good feeling.
I learned that life is waiting on the other side of my comfort zone and my biggest fears. I learned how important it is to just let things go and let them be. I finally know what it feels like to be fully connected to where I am, what's most important, where I'm going, and why I'm doing it all. I'm going to take the lessons and the memories behind them with me for the rest of my life. I don't know when the next door will come, or when it will open, or what's waiting behind it. But I can't help but wonder,